Shalom, shalom. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are having a great Tuesday, wherever you are located in the world. Um, Very interesting turn of events since the beginning of the so-called war, if you want to call it that. Um, there are rumors that BB is no more, but I don't think that rumors are true because no, we don't have any way to verify it because they're over there suppressing news, apparently, and censoring people from posting videos about what's going on over there. Um, you know, since 2019, 2020, I have been telling people not to go there to the Middle East, to that part of the Middle East, anyway, if you want to call it that. Um, I've always loved flying Qatar Airlines. It's one of the best, if not the best, airlines in the world. Is Qatar. The Qatar Airways is they treat you with such dignity and class, and it's clean. They're timely. Um, they don't treat you like cargo. um, Qatar Airways was one of the best flying experiences I've ever had. So it's a shame that we may not be able to get on Qatar Airways for a while due to the impromptu, impulsive actions of people in leadership in this country. Go figure. But we don't have any way to confirm if those posts and those stories are true. Um, I'm just going to be really blunt, and it's going to sound the way it's going to sound. I'm going to be accused maybe of being anti S, but I have very little sympathy for that government and that system over there because they've lied to so many people, they've stolen from so many people, they've caused so many people so much pain and misery. Okay. And so it's hard for me to have sympathy and compassion on a people that have just caused mayhem and chaos and destruction and colonized everything that can be colonized. In a way, they've colonized America. And that's the truth. And the crazy part is, it's really sad to be a country that's colonized and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize that you're colonized. You don't even realize you're slaves. I thought it was one thing for black people to not know that they're still in slavery. It's just called something different. It's under a different category or label. But when you got an entire nation that is totally clueless to their own enslavement and own colonialism and rotting from the inside out, that's really, really sad. Really, really sad. Okay. And it was very obvious to me when I was outside of the country. Like I said, it's nothing like leaving the country and watching your country from the outside in. And you talk to people and you just watch. Just watch. Don't even look at the news because, well, the news in Nigeria is highly censored. So you have to go to other news sources outside of a lot of news sources on the continent. Al Jazeera is pretty good. BBC, I like Al Jazeera a lot. We have to go to different countries. Sometimes you could find the Indian news channels are very, very um, informative. If you can get a hold of those news channels outside of the more oppressive unions, get a hold of their news media and find out what's really going on in the world. Um, it gives you a new perspective. It gives you another perspective on how to look at this country. And it's really crazy because I don't know where that mindset came from, that being honest and telling the truth about your country means you're not patriotic or you don't love your country or or the T word. No, it's just being not treason, truth. Okay, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when do we become a people that just tell the truth about where we live, whether it's here, whether it's uh, the global south, um, wherever we are in the world? Let's just keep it a buck. Everything that was shaped and frameworked as a democracy is failing all over the world. Democracy is a failed experiment. Why is that so hard? Why is that so traumatizing? Why is that so hard to confess and accept? If democracy is a failed experiment, isn't it time that we experiment with another form of government? Isn't it time that we start entertaining and looking at and um, studying geopolitics and history, full history? Hmm? Isn't it time that we start doing our research and just saying, hey, this is not working? What other form of governance, huh, can we use here so that everybody can be treated fairly, so that everybody's human rights are protected? Every last person on the face of this earth has human rights. I've said it before and I will continue to say it. I will never stop saying it. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you practice. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your spiritual belief system is. I don't care what your ethnicity is. I don't care if you're partisan, bipartisan, or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Every human being born on the face of this earth has human rights. And it seems like the more that we try to fit into this democratic form of government, the more human rights are being violated. I've not seen one country operating under a democracy that's succeeding right now. Everywhere you turn, countries are in upheaval, not just on the continent. There's not just coups on the continent. We want to talk, oh, there was a coup here, and there was a coup here, and there was a coup there. Well, wait a minute. January 6th, 2020, January 6th, 2021, America had its own coup. Everybody want to brush that under the rug and forget about it. Why? Because the coup took on a different color. Because they got tired of how the government was doing. They got tired of the way things were. And I guess the only voice that matters is the voice that comes out of the face and the mouth of someone that doesn't look like me. They're the only ones that get to speak their minds. Practice self-determination. They go all over the world and kill unalive leaders. They're the ones that undermine the sovereignty of nations, pillage resources, causes coups and division within several countries and governments, and then turn around and point the finger and act like they don't know why it's happening. They intervene to act like they care about humanity when they're the ones that's undermining humanity. Can we stop playing this game? Can we stop? Please? Can we stop acting like we don't see what's right in front of us is in plain sight? Can we act like we're not afraid to tell the truth? Oh, they're watching, so let them watch. The hell? I'm like, the alphabets. Y'all too afraid of alphabets for me. We was around way long before the alphabets were. The council was around long before the alphabets were, baby. The ones that guard me, the ones that empower me, that they were around long before the alphabets were ever formed, before there were even alphabets, English or otherwise, hieroglyphics, all that good stuff. The mamas was around long before they were ever even thought of. So why are you guys afraid of these alphabets? Why are you afraid of systems that are failing? And the reason why they're doing everything that they're doing is because they are failing. Listen, it's proof that they're failing. Listen. The systems are failing. They're failing in America. They're failing in Nigeria. They're failing on the continent. They're failing in Iran, Dubai. The systems are failing in the Sudan. The systems are failing in the UK. The systems are failing everywhere in Europe. They're failing because we're trying to be so democratic and so politically correct. It's not working. But do you see me being afraid? It sounds like I be upset and depressed. It's not depression. It's more of a somberness. It's everything is vanity. Everything is vanity. I understand who I am now. It's taken me a while. But it's no longer important. All that stuff that we thought was important, it's really not. And it's only a matter of time before everything's gonna just change so dramatically. And it's not gonna matter what religion, and all these people that's thinking that they're gonna be raptured out of here and they're gonna be protected by being raptured. They're not gonna reap what they've sown in this earth realm. We've reaped all kind of hell. We've sown all kind of hell in this earth. We did racism, slavery, Jim Crow, systemic racism, colonialism, apartheid. We've done all kind of hell. We've waged all kind of wars. We've discriminated against people. We've wars, unalive children, and made all kind of excuses for it. And we think that we just gonna either be raptured out of here so that we don't reap the seeds that we've sown, Or we think we're going to jump in one of our rockets because we're super rich and we're going to go to another planet and escape. Or we're going to go into one of our bunkers and escape the consequences of our decisions. And they don't even understand the ones that was here long before any of us. Gonna meet them in the bunkers. They're gonna meet them. They're gonna meet you in the other galaxies. No matter what rocket you get into or what universe and galaxy you fly to or what planet you try to escape to, they're gonna meet you there. And they're going to judge you. They're gonna judge you. They're judging you right now. They've surrounded your house, sir. I already told you that. They have surrounded your house, sir. You started all these wars to put up all these smoke screens. But they see you. They've seen everybody who served before you. And they surrounded your house. And they gonna find you. They gonna find you. They gonna go in the underground tunnels. And they gonna find you. Along with the children that you've hidden. Hmm? They're going. And they're gonna pronounce judgment. I don't know. Will I be around to see it? It's possible. I don't know. I'll be around one way or the other. I'm not crazy, y'all. I've evolved and I'm evolving. And it's so beyond religion. I used to think it was religion because that's how I grew up. Don't mind them. They're just excited because there was a stabbing around here. But the people that's messing up this world and that's messing up and unaliving so many people don't even understand that they're going to be judged. And it's not going to be in the sweet by and by. It's not going to be, it's going to be here on earth. These people that's caused so much pain to people, they gonna deal with it here. And no, ain't nobody escaping nothing. Nobody's escaping anything. You're not gonna rapture out of here to escape the consequences of your ancestors' crimes and sin against humanity. No, you're not going anywhere. That's not happening. You're gonna be right here. And you're gonna have to make things right. And you'll know what you gotta do when the time comes. I don't even hate you. I feel sorry for you because when it really, really hits you, it's going to be sad because some people are not going to be able to handle the weight of the evil that's in their bloodline, in their DNA. There are people that are running from their own lineage, their own bloodline, the sins and the curses that's in the bloodline. It's in the blood. Huh? Why you think them people was doing what they was doing with those babies on the island? Nygaard was taking the stem cells from his own children and injecting himself. Why do you think he was doing that? Not just because he wanted to be young. They know it's in the blood. It's in the plasma. It's in the DNA. And they know what's in their bloodline. And that's stuff that they're going to have to get right and make make that right. They're going to have to make that right. They can't escape that. They will not escape that. The council has already shared that with me. They won't escape that. They won't. This is not trauma speaking. This is not hallucinations or anything. This is just divine warning. You're not going anywhere. There's no rapture coming to take you out of here. You're going to have to fix what you messed up. What y'all messed up, you're going to have to fix it. And you're going to have to make it right. Now we'll tell the world, if you are good, the good Christian people, because you the main ones. And I'm not saying that out of bitterness or malice. That's just a fact. Everything that calls itself Christian, whether it's the Catholic Church or the Protestant Church, do you know how many children have been molested and tormented, abused, exploited, and even unalived between the Catholic and the Protestant Church alone? But you want to point your fingers at Muslims? Muslims don't do to their own children what so-called Christians do and Catholics do. I've never heard of a Muslim doing the things to children that, now if there's an Epstein files for people who are Muslims, they're not advertising it. Everybody wants to demonize Muslims, but Muslims have a code of conduct amongst one another. They have a sense of community. They look out for one another. I was in Nigeria and I went to the Muslim schools. I stayed in a mostly Muslim community. I used to hear them and see them praying 5 times a day, and it was peaceful. They've lied to you guys about what Islam is. They've only showed you what the extreme radicalized Muslims are. And that's not the majority. So anytime you see a Muslim, you get afraid. That's ignorance. Most Muslims I know are some of the most upstanding, law-abiding, family-oriented, productive, community-oriented people that I know. And they look out for their children. They take care of their children. And their women. Christians rape and molest and beat and abuse. And then some of them change their sex and try to be women. But they don't take care of the women. They don't cover the women. They don't love the woman. They demonize the woman, and they quick to call her a Jezebel when she got something that they don't have. You don't understand. Everything came from mama. You came from mama, man. So how you going to demonize a woman and you came from a woman? You sound crazy. You sound absolutely insane. But anyway, I won't get into that. Most Muslims are awesome people. And you listen to anybody that got a little pink skin, they'll tell you anything. Even though it sounds crazy and there's no proof. It's fake news. But because they got the complexion for the protection, as the Honorable Paul Mooney used to say during his comedic acts, you believe it. And you support somebody who's senile who's clearly has some kind of mental issue, who's getting old. And nothing's wrong with getting old, but after a while, I saw a comedy act last night, and one of the, I'm not gonna say the comedian's name because I don't want to put him out there like that, but he said something that was so true and profound about Trump. He said Trump is old, and he should be working in Walmart somewhere, not running a country. And you guys are allowing him to do it because he's pushing agendas that you think are true agendas. And you see what he's doing. Maybe you don't see what he's doing. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to go to the villages of Nigeria. Maybe you need to go to Palestine. Maybe you need to take a trip and see for yourself the stuff that America does and how it affects other people in other nations, children, women. Hmm? Maybe you need to see the poverty and the lack and the violation of human rights. You will look at things a whole lot differently. Next time you want to support any president, not just Trump, I have a problem with any American president because the American government is a wicked system. It's corrupt and it cannot be fixed. That's the truth. Now I said it. If Kamala was in office, I'll say the same thing. She's not the answer. The Democratic Party is not the answer. The Republicans are not the answer. The Independent Party, the Green Party, none of those parties are the answer. America needs to do what Nigeria needs to do: dismantle itself because you're not united and you're not getting any better. Yes, the, the Bible that your preachers preach out of says it very succinctly. How can two walk together except they agree? You cannot agree on anything. That you don't need to be living amongst one another. You don't need to. I believe that integration was one of the worst things that could have happened to anybody because we never agreed on anything. White and black people cannot agree on anything anywhere. It's true. And when you find a community of white and black people that are agreeing, somebody's lying so that they won't appear to be racist. Oh, no, you're racist. There's no such thing as that. There's a black person being racist. It's a black person being honest. They got black people that act like they don't have a problem with living amongst and marrying amongst and having children amongst and being governed amongst and going to school amongst. But I promise you, they all do. We all do. And if you go into the homes of a lot of white people, they are having conversations in private, and they're not so down. They could be sleeping with and married to a black man, but they're not so down. They can have black grandchildren, but they're not down. Or interracial down. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that, and you hear my voice, I'm not saying that out of hate. I'm telling you that's the truth. And y'all act like telling the truth is like, you can't say that. Why not? It's the truth. You know it. You know it. You don't like black people. You don't like us like that. You don't love us like that. You might be fascinated with us because you've done everything to try to break us. You've done everything to try to emulate us, be like us, and make music like us, and look like us, and be shaped like us. Huh? You married our men. You did this. Oh, come on. Yeah, you going to the continent and trying to partake of our culture because you're enamored by it. You don't care about the people that's there suffering. Because if you did, you would take your money and help them. You go there and you make content so that you can get paid. And you might even have a baby or two with them. See, I slept with a, and I am having his baby, so I can't be racist. That's crazy. Like during slavery, master, who's white, wasn't sleeping with or more like raping his slaves, most of the time who were minors. Just because you sleep with somebody doesn't mean you're not racist. Just because you have a baby with somebody doesn't mean you're not racist. It's just a simple biology. I don't need to tell y'all how babies are made. That could be done willingly or under duress or under coercion. We all got so emotional when Obama was placed in office because we thought we have a black president. We finally are free from being a racist country. And I was fooled too. But he was one of the worst things that could happen to this country. And I say that because he got in office and he did absolutely nothing for black people. And I'm gonna forever say this too, and I'm gonna go. He went to his own country, his own people, and threatened sanctions against Kenyans because they would not embrace the LGBT agenda when he was in office. And how do you threaten sanctions against your own people for something so shallow? Something that doesn't make a difference. Okay, they didn't want to embrace LGBT agenda. So what? What did embracing the LGBT agenda will do for Kenya as a country? Cause their GPD to go up or up to increase? Bring more jobs into the country? Improve healthcare? Education? What? It did nothing. It would do nothing for the country of Kenya. But Obama was willing to do that against his own people. So now I look at it from that standpoint. I'm like, well, no wonder he didn't do anything for us because he didn't do anything. He didn't care about his own people. The only people Obama care about is the Obamas. That's all I'm gonna say about that. His wife and his daughters. It's the only people that man care about. Because he did nothing, nothing, nothing. All the racially motivated crimes that started during his administration. And he did nothing but sit there and gave speeches and cry. That's what's wrong with black people now. Y'all are so enamored with somebody who can speak well. But you need to be enamored with somebody who can do well and act well after they've spoken. We just looking for somebody with a good speech. That's why y'all worship Jesse Jackson so much. Because Jesse just went around giving speeches. But he did nothing. No, you can't say that. I'm not sorry. He was a sellout when Martin Luther King was here. Martin Luther King was surrounded by preachers when he was unalived. Baptist preachers at that. Jesse was always into wanting to have the spotlight, and he wanted to be the next great civil rights hero. And the truth of the matter is, no matter what he did after the fact, he never even held a straw or a candle to what Martin Luther King did. And we understand Martin made some mistakes, and some of those mistakes cost him his life. But I believe Martin, at the end of his life, was trying to do some things for his people because he realized certain things. That his Mason brothers and sisters was not trying to help us. And when he tried to help the poor people, that's when they did what they did to him. Anybody that's for poor people, government will hate you and they're coming for you. And your Bible that the preachers preach from talks about being punished for mistreating poor people. But they don't believe the Bible. They put their hands on the Bible and swear by it when they're being sworn into office or when they go to court, but they don't, they don't abide by it. They don't read it. They don't get it. But they want to act like they do. They want to call themselves Christians. What is a Christian? People that institute slavery, that fund slavery, and systemic racism, and Christian nationalism. That's what a Christian is. Oh, I sure want to be one. Religion. Every war that's ever been waged in this world has its roots in religious division. Everyone, do your research. So, religion and I are done. And one more thing. For all the Christians and all the church people that just have this thing against what you think is witchcraft, I'm going to explain something to you. Come here. Come, let me explain some things to you. First and foremost, most of your pastors and apostles and prophets and people who you revere are practicing witchcraft. Most of them go to the mountains and do this and do that, and they are getting their powers not from the Holy Ghost. So that's number one. Okay? If you look at your average church service, most, especially in the black church, and I've been in West Africa and I'm just going to be real with you. Most of the practices that are done in the black Christian church are things that are done at these festivals in West Africa, whether it's the Vodun Festival, the Yam Festival, so many different spiritual and religious festivals that go on in West Africa. And it looks weird to us and spooky, but it's the same thing. From the holy dance to speaking in tongues to people falling out on the floor, all of that has its roots, pun intended, in West Africa. So you want to point your finger and say, this is witchcraft, that's witchcraft, that's witchcraft, that's witchcraft. And you're doing the same thing that they're doing in West Africa. You don't know why you do what you do, because it's in the blood, baby. It's in the blood, it's in the DNA. You can't escape it. Hoodoo, what everybody talk about hoodoo. Hoodoo has its roots. I know people are not going to like what I'm saying, but hoodoo has its roots in Vodun. Not voodoo, Vodun. Vodun. Hoodoo is something that was created when our ancestors who were here in America was disconnected and torn and ripped from the motherland and torn from our spiritual practices and made to believe, and they even criminalized doing spiritual work here. So we had to turn around and mix it up with churchianity, and it was called and relabeled and repackaged as hoodoo. We're so superstitious. And then the crazy part is they turned around and told you it was witchcraft, it's this, it's wrong, it's demonic, it's wicked, it's this, it's that. But they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. things. They just call it something different. And then go look for a Bible verse to say, you see, this is why we do what we do. Because it has its roots in Africa. Anything that has its roots in Africa has to be demonic and wicked. That's so much colonialism crap. Okay? The Catholic Church do nothing but worship ancestors. Saint this, saint that, saint this. Aren't those ancestors? But it's holy and right. And there's a whole Vatican, and they got a whole bank, and they have whole this and whole that, whole government system to support it. But if you do it, it's demonic, it's wrong, it's treason, it's witchcraft. What? Come on now. Stop letting them demonize what's ours. And then they take it, repackage it, rebrand it, and sell it to us in another form and call it Christianity. Just like they do the resources. They go to the continent, take the resources, and say, you don't know what to do with this, let me have it. And they come and they take it somewhere else and they process it and repackage it and sell it back to you. That's what they do with oil. Nigeria should not be buying gas and petrol and oil from nobody. One of the most top producing countries in the world of oil should not ever have petrol shortages. What's that about? You live on top of your oil. But you let the white people tell you you don't know what you're doing. Give that to me. You don't know what to do with that. And you let them do that to everything. Democracy is a failed experiment. Let's just let it go. Let it. It's dying a slow death. It's in a coma. Democracy is in a coma worldwide. Let it die. Take it off the life support already, will you? Just take democracy off life support. It's gone already, babies. It's gone. Democracy was never meant for us, especially melanated people. No. Oh yeah, they're gonna get afraid and say this and say that. That's why he's over there right now. That's why the US military is in Nigeria right now. It is not because they want to stop Christian genocide, because they've been there how long? And there are still people being unalived in Nigeria. People are still getting kidnapped. People are still getting unalived. Right in their churches, right in their mosque. But you are boots on the ground. Why are you there? And the same thing is still happening. I just want you to think about this one thing, Nigeria. They spent millions of dollars to save one white man. I mean, real white man. I mean, like white, pink, white man. Millions. They did a whole reconnaissance mission to go and rescue one white male missionary from Nigeria who was kidnapped. Millions for one white man. And they can't stop the Hausa, the Fulani, Boko, ISIS. They can't stop these people from doing what they're doing to you. Maybe you can't say it because you think it might be rude, but I, as an American that pay the taxpayers, that pay the taxes, so that our troops and our soldiers can go over there, I could say it. They may not like me. They may like me. I don't care. I'm going to say it. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Why can't you stop it? It should have been stopped. You went in there in a month after you found out that man was kidnapped and you got him out of there and rescued him. And you spent millions of dollars for that one mission, United States government. But you can't stop people from being unalived in Nigeria. And you've been involved how long? 2, 3 months? Things that make you go. So I'm saying it for you guys. Since you guys can't say it because you don't say things or whatever. But I'm gonna say it. Something is wrong and something is up with that. They're not over there to save Christians. You guys figure out why he's over there and why he's in Iran. And why is he helping? Is it real? Is it real helping us? Is it real helping you? All you churches and all you preachers with the is it really in flag in your pulpits? Is BB helping you? BB, no, you've been going through this. Why now? Just some things for you to think about. Now I'm on because I said a lot already. Shalom. Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.